This is a CNN special presentation.
Exactly 1 week ago, the Red Planet got a visitor. And back on Earth, everyone's horizons began expanding. Whether you've been glued to the news from Mars or have only caught a glimpse here and there, this next hour is for you. It's about people, a most amazing place, and a little rover that could. Welcome to both our domestic and international viewers. I'm John Holloman at the CNN Center in Atlanta. This has been some kind of week. Since this time last Friday, we've seen more pictures and more views of Mars than ever before. And there's more to come. But this story isn't just about pictures. Tonight, we're going to tell you how a box of gears and gadgets the size of your microwave oven has captured the attention of a nation and a world. We're also going to tell you about a group of people who went to work last week with butterflies in their stomachs and lumps in their throats.
We have
It was a good day at the office for the scientists, engineers, and thinkers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory when they got the word, or the code as it were, that Pathfinder had safely reached its destination, the Earth's most interesting planetary neighbor.
This is really exciting. This is the data we've been waiting for. This is the Mom, I made it, the safe arrival phone call. And this is what we've been hoping for.
Landing on Mars is like a lot of the harder things in life. You can talk about it and plan for it and rehearse it, but until it's done, it's like waiting for a baby to be born. This was Mission Control's version of a smiling obstetrician announcing, "You have a healthy baby, 10 fingers, 10 toes."
I don't think any of us expected today to go like it has. Every time we looked for the spacecraft, it was there. It gave us clear indications it was on the surface, that it was healthy within 3 minutes after landing. And now, just now, we received our first telemetry from the spacecraft. We're getting down the health of the spacecraft, and it sounds like everything is absolutely perfect.
How did Pathfinder do it?
3, main engine start. 1, 0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Mars Pathfinder. And the vehicle has cleared the tower.
After launching December 4th, the small spacecraft logged more than 300 million miles as it zipped through the solar system. That's more than 25,000 miles an hour. Getting it safely onto Mars's surface was a delicate operation. Here's how that worked. A few seconds before landing, enormous airbags deployed to cushion the landing on the cold and rugged Martian surface. Mission Control would later learn that this airy package would bounce at least a dozen times before safely settling. And for that to have happened, a lot already had to go right. If the parachutes, balloons, and heat shields had failed, that would have been the end of Pathfinder. The speed and impact would have destroyed it. There were plenty of other ifs. This is the first time a craft has landed on another planet without the use of thruster rockets like those used to safely get astronauts down to the surface of the moon.
The little engine that could did. And we are just absolutely boggled by the fact that this fairly complex design that we've been thinking about and stewing over and testing and trying to make work really did the job.
First, there were the black and white images, and not long after, color. And now you know why even ancient astronomers called it the Red Planet. The simple answer? The surface of Mars is basically rusting. With each new image, new levels of excitement and a sense of wonder.
You might ask if there were living organisms once here. You might ask many questions about these pictures, and these are questions we too will be asking. But remember, the imagination is very important to understanding this mission, and we will try and help stimulate your imaginations as we will stimulate our own.
Pathfinder's petals opened to reveal the rover, about the size of a small microwave oven. Program manager Donna Shirley was adamant about the rover's gender.
Most of the rover team is men, and they grumbled a bit. And I said, hey, it's my rover. It's the only time I really got tough with him. I said, this is a female rover.
A Connecticut girl won an essay contest to name the craft. She called it Sojourner Truth. after the abolitionist of that name who spread the truth about slavery.
So this girl, who's 12 years old, wrote this really nice little essay about how Sojourner Truth would travel around Mars, bringing back the truth about Mars.
If you sense a lot of passion and personal involvement in this project, you're right on target.
It's really, really wonderful. And we're just totally in love with our baby.
And they have confidence in their baby. That's why nobody panicked when Pathfinder ran into its first problem when engineers looked at the first black and white pictures beamed back to Earth.
Okay, this image shows the airbag on the rear side. You can see how it's billowed up. That airbag is not fully retracted. We don't quite know why that is, but what we're planning to do, what the flight team is doing right now, is testing a sequence, and may have already even uplinked the sequence that will cause us to, and let me show you with this little model here. Okay, here's the pedal where the rover is on, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift that pedal up about 45 degrees, and then we're going to turn on the actuator that pulls the airbag, that's retracted the airbags, and we're going to turn that on for about 10 minutes and try to pull that airbag in a little bit more.
Flight rover, we have rover data. Yeah!
That set of new commands worked. It was now safe for Sojourner to make those first shaky moves.
The images that you've seen today show a completely deployed rover that has driven down a perfectly deployed ramp and gotten to the surface of Mars, making its first tracks in the soil of this new planet.
Rover, don't forget to call home occasionally.
The first rock to get its picture taken and to get sniffed by an X-ray spectrometer, Barnacle Bill.
It's called that because in the close-up view, it looks like it's covered with little lumpy barnacle-like features.
Pathfinder's two eye-like cameras sent back the ingredients for a panoramic view of the landing site. And a quick look at the rocks told geologists they might have been pummeled by enormous floods billions and billions of years ago. There's evidence of a 1,000-foot deep flood, one that moved rocks thousands of miles. It's those indications of water, and plenty of it, that have scientists thinking the planet may have supported life in some form. Look at this map and get a load of these names on the Carl Sagan Memorial landing site. There, the Twin Peaks, the Big Crater, the Far Knob, and the really far knob.
Rover has nestled up and kissed affectionately Barnacle Bill.
Sojourner continued to make her handlers proud. The rover stirred up some soil with its wheels so geologists could get a good look at some dirt below the Martian surface. Then it was off to shoot a bear. Just photographs, of course.
We'll turn the rover and drive towards Yogi, and at the end of the day, we'll take a full stereo from the rover eye, nice up and close. That's the way geologists want to look at it, nice up and close, and see what we can see in that morphology.
With moves like the crab, Sojourner is showing off some real self-sufficiency, getting around the craggy surface. And the research team shows no signs of wearing out either.
This is unbelievable. You have 70 scientists like kids in candy shops here at the end of fire hoses of data who just grinning from ear to ear.
One of the most widely traveled astronauts, Story Musgrave, says there's something almost hypnotic about our new relationship with our solar system neighbor.
The call is there. It beckons. The beauty of the place, it really does call. And with a brand new technology, with a very efficient small satellite that it came just scooting and screaming out in there, and it's there, it lets you know how doable the whole thing is.
Doable it is. The pictures, the enhanced pictures, just keep on coming. The first virtual reality look at Mars was shown Thursday, and it's not just a way to look at cool stuff. The scientists use it to better measure and estimate the size of rock formations, which brings us back to these pictures of Sojourner. It shows the vehicle ramming a wheel up on the rock called Yogi. And because of a miscalculation, NASA missed getting its radio instructions to the rover, so that's where Sojourner remains right now, jammed against that rock.
We did get a signal from the spacecraft indicating that it was fine, it was healthy, there was no real concern, but we just didn't get as much accomplished as we'd liked. And as the team joked later at the conclusion of the day, on the 7th day we decided to rest.
Throughout the mission, from the very first pictures, NASA has been building what it calls the Monster Pan.
Take a look around.
a 360-degree look at the Martian terrain. And today, NASA came back with its latest effort.
And then this is a controlled color animation using images that have been seamlessly put together, the cartography done more completely. This is a more refined version of some of the things that Carol Stoker showed you yesterday.
This is just so good. The scientists at JPL had something else to show us today, something we're planning to show you. This is part of an old-fashioned 3D picture of Mars they put together. To see it in 3D, you're going to need glasses like these, so if you got some, dig them out now. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll show you the whole picture. So if you have some of these old-timey glasses around, go grab them. Now, just ahead, a look at that group of scintillating scientists from JPL. Who are these folks?
Reaching your financial goals can be a complex balancing act. At the Principal Financial Group, you will find the strength of our investment performance is your 401k retirement advantage. You will find our flexibility will meet your insurance needs. And you will find the balance of choice and quality you need in health coverage. For over 100 years, the Principal has made the complex simple. That's how we give you an edge. The Principal.
Its posture is sleek, smart, powerful, the absolute height of cool. But with a revolutionary 190 horsepower 30-valve V6 and the option of a Tiptronic gearbox, the new Audi A4 2.8 is actually quite sophisticated. Get ready for the ride of your life.
What if you could get what you wanted automatically? You can, with the easiest way to earn free gasoline, the Shell MasterCard from Chase. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Your 2 o'clock is here.
Mannequins. This guy better have mannequins. Last thing we need are more hangers.
Only Nextel digital cellular phones have direct connect.
Guys, a little problem. I need mannequins.
Gotcha.
Mannequins. Mannequins.
A two-way radio feature that lets you instantly talk to any or all of your coworkers with a push of a button.
Mannequins.
Get smart. Get Nextel, the national all-digital wireless network.
Sunday on the next Impact. New genetically engineered foods may offer hope for solving world hunger, but what are the risks of messing with Mother Nature? On the weekly news magazine Impact, Sunday, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Monday on a special burden of proof.
I am not going to go and work and give my money to Fred Goldman.
Greta Van Susteren talks with O.J. Simpson in an exclusive 1-hour interview. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
You know something? It was cool to be a scientist or an engineer this week. And it was hard for the rest of us not to smile watching the men and women at Pasadena's Jet Propulsion Laboratory so obviously enjoying doing what they do. Let's get to know them a little better. Here is CNN's Ann McDermott.
He rests. He rallies. He rocks.
It's simple, but it's perfect. Well, that's really true this time.
Meet Rob Manning, self-described nerd.
By the standards of our society, anybody who's fascinated by technical things is often considered a nerd. And, you know, I don't really mind that title because I wish more people were nerds, quite frankly.
Manning, the flight system's chief engineer, is the guy in the headset, the guy who's enchanted millions with his enthusiasm for space exploration, his enthusiasm for any exploration.
The time is here. Let's go. Let's find out about the world. Let's find out about our oceans. Let's find out more. Everyone can be a scientist in their own way.
It's been quite a year for Manning. His wife's expecting a baby, and then there's Mars. His only regret, he hasn't gotten around to trying to name one of those Mars rocks after his dog. After his dog.
They wouldn't let me name it after my wife.
Then there's Donna Shirley. Woo-hoo! Now, normally she's much more sedate, but the Mars Exploration Program Manager is excited about Mars, and she in turn excites audiences about it because she explains things clearly, simply, a skill she comes by honestly.
When my daughter was in preschool, I went over and taught science to the 3- and 4-year-olds.
3- and 4-year-olds?
We had them sliding down the slide, yelling, "Gravity!"
Gravity.
Blech.
That's Matt Golombek, the entertaining guy at all those news conferences.
You know, the sky's the limit here.
The project scientist says space was not a particularly big deal to him as a child. He got into rocks.
I'm a geologist by training, and I got into geology because I wanted to know how mountains got to be mountains and valleys got to be valleys.
Fortunately, he's got mountains and valleys on Mars. Now, if only he could get some rest.
My kids wanted to know why. They asked my wife, "Why is Daddy always on TV and not home with us?"
And what does Daddy say?
Daddy said, I'll be home real soon.
Soon.
Getting any fan mail?
None.
Well, maybe he just hasn't checked. Donna Shirley's been getting some. So has Rob Manning. But don't worry, nobody's going Hollywood here.
I didn't do this job to be famous. I did this job to explore Mars.
Mars. Ann McDermott, CNN, Pasadena, California.
These are pretty remarkable folks. My colleague John Zarella, another remarkable person, is at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory with some of the men and women who've made this Pathfinder mission such a success. John?
John, I've got to tell you that we watched that entire first segment. It was great with our 3D glasses on here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And there we are, all of us with our 3Ds. It was better in 3D, that first segment. Just fabulous. It's a fun bunch. You know that by now. I want you to meet everybody here in person now. Of course, the world has come to know all of these people. To my right, Donna Shirley, the head of Mars Exploration Program here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And of course, Matthew Golombek, soon to be on GQ, I understand. Matthew Golombek, who is the head of the science team here on this mission, on the Pathfinder mission. And of course, Brian Muirhead, Brian, deputy project manager, but has been named project manager, and he is here with us as well. And Brian Cooper, who is one of the rover drivers. You didn't drive into the rock, did you?
That wasn't me.
It wasn't you that drove into the rock.
Poor Jack. Yeah.
I have to ask you, right out of the box, everybody wants to know, what do you do for an encore? Donna?
Well, we've got MGS coming up. Mars Global Surveyor is getting to Mars in September 11th, 62 days from now, goes into orbit, uses aerobraking to get into the right orbit. That means it skims through the upper atmosphere of Mars on every rev, and it's going to be a real circus to watch them do that.
Don't you sit and think, here you are, everybody very young, all of you very young.
Some of us very young.
What do you do for an encore, though? It's got to be something that's crossed a lot of your minds. Right?
Well, John, after I get done with this wonderful experience with Pathfinder, there's another mission to land on the surface of a comet that I'm going to be responsible for. And I think that could be an exciting encore.
Wonders never cease, do they? How'd you get your rover driver's license?
Well, that's a good story, John. There was a teacher named Fran O'Rourke up in the state of Washington who had me come up and give a demonstration to their school. But what she didn't tell me is she also had the governor of Washington and the entire school there and media, and they gave me a driving test, and they gave me a driver's license on the spot, and then later Vice President Gore signed it. So.
You know, I have often heard many, many times that this was a rogue team. That you people were sort of, yeah, sure, let him go do this. We'll see if it works, kind of thing. How do you take that? I mean, it worked.
It worked. We did.
Now, that was part of our charter, John. We really had to invent the process of building spacecraft, and that's what it was going to take to do this job within the time and the money that we had. So we didn't mind being left alone, actually, to go off and do this job.
Well, and not just spacecraft, but the whole mission, the way the navigation was done with a very tiny navigation team. The rover, nobody had ever built a 10 kilogram spacecraft before, and the whole program's like that. You know, the whole program is chartered to pave the way for NASA to show how to do this stuff, and this team showed how to do it.
Matt, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that the kind of science that's coming back, this was an engineering mission primarily, but here you are with all of this tremendous science that you're getting?
Yeah, well, that was always my dream, actually. I mean, that was my job, in fact, was to dream about the science that we could get back and what we could do. And in fact, how to change this thing. You don't want to send a red brick to Mars. That's, you know, that's dumb. Let's do something where you can learn something new and really start investigating this planet. And so that's been my job since day one, is how do you take this entry, descent, and landing demonstration and make it into a really neat science mission?
And you know, the place we landed, I think, should be called Matt's place, because he's the one that picked it and sold it and got it to happen.
Right, we had talked about that on occasion. And really, from the point of view of a rover driver, Brian Cooper, you guys, and a lot of, something, you know, the old saying, it's better to be lucky than good. I mean, you were both where you landed, because all around there, if we look at the 3D or any of the images, it would be a pretty rough ride even for Sojourner.
I think it's a perfect combination of rocks that the scientists are finding very interesting right near us, and yet they're spaced out enough that we can go around them, and that the sizes are such that we're not going to be in too much hazards driving around.
That was a real concern in the selection. They were worried if it was too much like Viking 2, where you had a lot of large rocks sort of equally spaced, it might be difficult to drive. And it just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Stop that. I just can't help it.
It's obviously very easy to see how come they're very happy all the time. And now we've seen scientists giddy as school kids. How about school kids acting like scientists?
Hi, I'm Samantha Cravey. I'm 14 years old from Conyers, Georgia, and I was wondering if the red soil on Mars has any similarity to the red Arabian deserts.
If you've been drinking Ensure, there's a little something you should know. Nobody, not even Ensure, gives you more protein with less fat than Sustacal. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
In the early 90s, the real estate business changed.
I've got your financing seminar, 2 closings, and a showing.
Busy day.
Busy morning.
Professionals took control, trained to use the latest marketing tools, responsive to the real human issues.
He's not moving, but we've got a meeting set for tomorrow.
One organization set the pace.
I love this business.
Better Homes and Gardens. Real estate.
Anyone can put an E in front of their name, but if you trade stocks electronically, you better know what's behind the E.
That's why we spent 10 years building one of the world's most secure electronic brokerage systems. We made it big so we can handle trading volume other guys can't. We made it safe with the most advanced technology in the business. And we made it Schwab with help if you need it. We didn't take any chances. Should you?
Call now to open your eSchwab account with complimentary software and get electronic brokerage the way it should be.
The Chrysler Town & Country LXI. Car and Driver's 10 Best. An Automobile Magazine All-Star. J.D. Power & Associates Most Appealing Minivan. Winner of Strategic Vision's 1997 Total Quality Award for Best Ownership Experience. And now get $1,000 cash back. The Chrysler Town & Country LXI. It's nothing short of everything. What's new in your world?
The new Encore movie networks, all in digital picture and sound. So call your cable operator. Satellite dish owners call 1-800-DIRECTV or 1-800-PRIME-STAR. The new Encore movie networks. Just what you're in the mood for.
Take aim at Eastwood and the Duke, Saturday night on TBS with McHugh and Coogan's Bluff. Eastwood and the Duke, big shots. 8:05 Eastern on the Superstation.
We are at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. not on Mars, as it looks like. The question going to that commercial break, Matt Golombek, why is Mars red?
Well, we think it's a rust pit, effectively. It's dominated by hematitic minerals, which if you take your bicycle and leave it out in the rain, effectively it rusts. You're adding oxygen to the mix. And that's likely what the clays are dominated on Mars, so that gives it the red color.
A lot of things that you're finding out, though, for the first time, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, this is a fantastic place we landed. It's a cornucopia of different rocks, and we just can't wait to get them all.
Could you be a little more enthusiastic?
We have another question from one of the school kids.
My name is Catherine Fox. I'm 9 years old and from Atlanta, and I want to know why Mars has so many holes.
Matt, I think that's yours again.
Well, it's been bombarded by meteorites from outer space, and those meteorites hit the surface, and they create holes, in fact, and the material flies out of it, creates actually a rim that's higher than the surface, and generally a bowl-shaped crater for small ones and more serrated ones for larger craters. So that's why it's got so many holes.
And it's got a lot of hills, too, we were talking about. More than
Great
you
hills,
thought.
yeah, especially this particular place.
I think we have another question from another.
Hi, I'm Keith Roseman, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And I want to know how much time exactly did it take to build the Pathfinder?
Brian Muirhead, that goes to you. I mean, that one was the one that kept you up at night, didn't it?
That's a pretty straightforward one. We started the project in October of 1993. And then we we designed the spacecraft, we built it, we tested it, and we launched it in December of '96. So it was about 38 months to design, build, test, and launch.
Brian Cooper, how long did it take you to get proficient at driving a rover where you felt comfortable?
We've been practicing for quite a while, both in the sand pit area we have up in our facility, test facility, but also before then, when we first developed the rover. But very intently for the last year. So probably about the last year we've been doing our all-up system tests, and it's taken a while to get a feel for the system and calibrating it. But it's nothing like looking out on the surface. It's night and day. It's just so great.
It's different than you thought it would be?
It is. We've never been able to test looking at far distant mountains, and that just is breathtaking looking at it in stereo. Now, we're not probably going to go out to the far distant mountains, but the system, it works really well, and we're real happy with it.
Let's take another question from one of the kids.
My name's Joel Withrow. I'm from Atlanta and I'm 13. I was just wondering, what's the average temperature on Mars?
Temperature on Mars. What's the temperature like on Mars?
It's cold. I'll just say what the weathermen on Mars say, which is that it's maybe 5 to 10 degrees above zero to about 100 degrees below zero. Pretty cold place.
That's not,
and this is summer.
And this is summer. That's pretty much what you expected. There was no surprise there.
Yeah, it's about 100-degree C change, and so yeah, the temperature swings are enormous.
Enormous. We have yet another question.
Hello, I'm David Moyer, and I'm 12 years old from Arlington, Maryland, and my question is, how long will this craft stay on Mars?
Forever. This is a monument to man's ingenuity to place a spacecraft on the surface of Mars. And women.
Very good.
And humankind, excuse me.
I get that question a lot from school children, and they ask, when is it coming back? And I say, well, maybe someday, if you study hard and you'll become an astronaut, maybe, and in the future, you get to go and bring Sojourner back. Who knows?
Well, how long, one of the questions we always hear, though, is how long will it continue to work, to function?
Well, there's right now, the way the spacecraft is performed now, it looks like it could go on forever. But realistically, eventually, as things get colder, eventually the lander and the rover will stop functioning. But it could be weeks, it could be months. But as long as it's running, we'll keep operating.
But anything we get from this point is gravy, because we have fulfilled all the mission objectives already. And so everything now is just an added attraction.
But we have not fulfilled this project scientist dreams yet.
Well, but those are never to be fulfilled.
No, we need a year on the surface with this little beastie.
I was going to say all of the objectives completed within a week, except for, of course,
Matthew.
Yeah.
Well, but you can't satisfy him.
Can't.
By the way, we should tell people that in 2005, we're going to try to launch a mission that's going to bring a piece of Mars back to Earth in 2008. So the first thing that comes back will be the 2005 launched mission.
This has been wonderful. I have to tell you, part of this mission is about introducing kids to a whole new world, but not just the world of Mars, the wonders of science. And scientific achievement can begin at a very early age, and who better to tell us about that than Donna Shirley now and Donna Shirley then. Who knew this Oklahoma schoolgirl would one day grow up to be the program manager of a mission to Mars? Well, maybe one of her teachers had a glimmer.
Oh, dear.
Well, I told several of them the sky's the limit if that's where you want to go, you know.
And she did.
She did, that's right, she did. She really did. Yes, we've had great athletes and great students in all fields, but none could top this one, I don't believe. She's great.
Well, what more do we say? This has been wonderful sitting here and chatting with all these folks, John, and they are really have made it a wonderful week for us out here, accessible all the time, and explaining it in English so you and I can understand it and present it to the rest of the folks around the world. John?
No kidding, John. Hey, I know that you guys in Pasadena have the 3D glasses. I've got some. Get them ready. They'll give you a glimpse of what it's like to gaze toward the horizon of a new and different world. That is just ahead. Stay with us.
Saturday on CNN's Larry King Weekend, zookeeper Jack Hanna and a few of his animal friends. Saturday, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Santa Monica BMW is the ultimate in parts and service. We provide new high-tech satellite training for all service technicians and the latest in computerized testing equipment. And because we know how important BMW maintenance is, we'll take the time to talk with you about your car. With about $1 million in parts and accessories and people who really care to assist you, no need to take your BMW anywhere else. By the way, for you people on the run, please take advantage of our new 1-hour quick service department. Santa Monica BMW. You really do owe it to yourself.
There's a delightfully different summer getaway where everything is surprisingly affordable. Tucson. With savings from your free Take Off for Tucson discount guide, you can enjoy more of our great outdoors for less. Play round after round of Tucson's high desert golf. Discover the Wild West. Enjoy fascinating attractions and relax in luxury. Call 1-888-2-TUCSON and spend less to slip away from the everyday.
This is CNN.
Hey, Randy, use an underarm motion.
Thanks, sir.
Owen Moore is an engineer in ergonomics at the Liberty Mutual Research Center. Owen figures ways folks can do their jobs better and safer. His team has saved the companies we insure millions.
Stan, vibrating devices can cause extremity numbness. Maybe there's another way. Okay, Owen.
Safer, more secure lives.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's the freedom of liberty. Liberty Mutual.
Its posture is sleek, smart, powerful, the absolute height of cool. But with a revolutionary 190 horsepower 30-valve V6 and the option of a Tiptronic gearbox, the new Audi A4 2.8 is actually quite sophisticated. Get ready for the ride of your life.
Welcome back. Every day, we have been scrambling for superlatives to describe what the Mars Pathfinder has been showing us. This little spacecraft just keeps topping itself. Well, today's no different. Scientists have assembled Pathfinder images into a three-dimensional panorama. So put on your special 3D glasses. I had no idea this would work, but it does. Take a look at this. We'll watch together. Now, you see the rover, Sojourner, right there on the left of your screen. And this was before she went over to the rock Yogi Bear, which you see just moving off the left side of your screen right now. At the bottom of your screen, you can see one of the Pathfinder solar panels sticking out, along with the airbags. And if you have these 3D glasses, I mean, you can really see that the airbags are rising up off the surface of Mars. And as you look out onto the horizon, in a minute, you'll be able to see some of these mountains in the distance, and some of the twin peaks may come across. There's one of the mountains in the distance, just coming on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. These are the things that the Pathfinder mission didn't know it was going to find. Now, coming into view in about the center of your screen now, out about halfway back, you can see what they call an arroyo. It's sort of like a stream bed where the land has gone down because of the water washing across it. And at the bottom of your screen, you can see the ramp that the rover was able to get off of to begin its journey around the surface of Mars. There are the Twin Peaks now, just beginning to come across your screen from right to left. And as I say, I had no idea this was going to work on television. We knew that if you got in the room with this picture, you could see it. But the fact is, if you have these 3D glasses with the red and blue thing on them, you can really see this. All right, I think we're back to the rover now, back to Yogi Bear. And as I say, those 3D images almost make the photographs that have been wowing us for a week look commonplace. Pathfinder is dominating the newsstands and the airwaves with newspaper spreads, magazine covers, and programs like this. CNN's Jill Brooks shows us the Martian media invasion.
Some say that journalists are always looking for dirt. Well, now they've found plenty of it on Mars. The story of the Pathfinder landing on Mars has turned into pay dirt for the media. The Sci-Fi Channel's ratings have soared.
Science has now taken center stage.
As well as CNN's and others. Magazines and newspapers have Mars mania. And NASA's Mars website had more hits than Madonna. A record 1 million people have logged on.
Mars has been a bonanza for the media because of this fascination with what could be there and the fact that we're actually there. And for a while we were kind of looking inward to ourselves in nostalgia, but this is a time with the millennium coming where we're very interested in what the future will be.
Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world.
Not since Neil Armstrong stepped onto the lunar landscape has the world been so over the moon about space. The Mars mission provided no pictures of astronauts walking and talking in space, but in some ways it is more of a giant media leap. There are far more news outlets to provide coverage. Plus, interest in the Mars mission is heightened because of its symbolism in pop culture.
We use the word Mars so much. That's Martians. You know, that's what we've always used in our sort of the mythology we've created about outer space. We are sci-fi junkies in this culture, and this is the real thing. And everybody is hoping that some little person is going to run out and wave at the camera. I mean, everybody wants to believe that there's life on other planets.
Mars is more than 140 million miles from the sun.
Mars was put on the cultural map with War of the Worlds. And since then, entertainment vehicles ranging from Total Recall to My Favorite Martian to Mars Attacks have used this planet to project our fantasies and fears about alien life. Meanwhile, the news stories can impact the entertainment industry also. Some video stores report a surge in sales for space-related films. Thanks to film, here's what we were expecting from Mars. And here's what we got. But no one seems disappointed. Especially the media. Jill Brooks, CNN, New York.
The scientists on the Mars mission really have rocks in their heads, or make that on their minds. When we come back, the fine art of naming rocks. Stay with us.
Witness the rebirth of Asia's first airline as 36 new planes take to the skies. As 14,000 sunny personalities make the sun grow on you. As our suns circle the world, bringing you to more destinations. The new Philippine Airlines, Asia's sunniest.
Most cellular companies charge you for roaming.
They charge you for landline connections. And by rounding all calls up to the next minute, they charge you even more. It's a wonder they don't charge you for smelling salts. Get smart. Get Nextel, the national all-digital wireless network.
Think an all-purpose water sealer is all wood needs? Look beyond the beads. Sun damage, mildew, splitting and warping destroy the beauty of wood, even pressure-treated wood. That's why Olympic Deck Care products not only waterproof, but are specially formulated to deliver the advanced protection wood really needs and the look you really want. Get protection that goes beyond the beads. Get total deck care from Olympic. Olympic protects wood beautifully.
Promise me you'll come back for me.
I promise. The English Patient is coming back to theaters for 3 weeks only. This is your last chance to see the best picture of the year on the big screen. The English Patient, rated R, now playing.
Monday on A Special Burden of Proof.
I am not going to go and work and give my money to Fred Goldman.
Greta Van Susteren talks with O.J. Simpson in an exclusive one-hour interview. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern on CNN.
The major features of a planet like Mars have to go through a formal and time-consuming naming process. But this little section of the Mars Valley has been populated with catchy names, many of which we all grew up with. Here's CNN's Jeannie Mose to look at some rock stars destined for the Interplanetary Hall of Fame.
What does this rock have to do with this bear?
I'm smarter than the average bear.
Apparently, you have to be a rocket scientist to see the resemblance.
And we move toward Yogi.
Forget famous earthling rocks like Plymouth Rock or the Rock of Gibraltar. Barnacle Bill is #1 on the rock charts these days, though maybe not for long.
We will also look at Scooby-Doo in some detail. And Casper. Don't forget Casper.
Who could forget Casper? Not the whitish rock, the ghost.
What are you made of?
Funny, that's what they keep asking the rocks. Rocks with names ranging from souffle to shark, from platypus to hedgehog. At the Jet Propulsion Lab, there's a panoramic view of the landing site on the wall, dotted with the names of the rocks.
And what these guys do, they take the little yellow stickies, and somebody comes along and says, my turn to name a rock.
At least you can't call these scientists stiffs.
I mean, they could call these rocks, you know, ALH 84001 or something, but that's boring.
You know, it's Barnacle Bill. Everybody knows what that is.
Well, not everyone.
Oh, dear, what was the little one? Yogi's the big rock.
There was some confusion among non-scientists attending a Mars event at the American Museum of Natural History.
Yogi was named after my favorite horse.
Horse? Hey, don't feel bad, kid. Even the scientists get confused.
I'm not sure if it's shark or wedge, but there's one in the foreground. Wedge, I'm sorry.
What's the other one named?
Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo, right.
Now, nobody claims there's a resemblance between the rock and the true Scooby-Doo. The scientists were just being humorous with this one, but many of the names have to do with a rock's appearance. Hippo is shaped like a block. Flat Top and Little Flat Top are flat. The big rock named Yogi likewise has a smaller companion named Boo Boo.
Wait here, Friar Boo Boo.
The team's most junior member has been anointed naming czar. Nathan Bridges keeps track of the monikers. Personal names are a no-no.
We had a rock named Bob, and that'd be great to all the Bobs in the world, but then if we have Bob, we might want Fred or Sally or something.
Some back on Earth think the names should be heroes young folks could look up to, rather than names picked on a scientist's whim.
Or we're going to start hearing Martini or Cigar.
The public may be able to toss around names of Martian rocks, but do folks know the name of the American astronaut aboard the decrepit space station Mir?
I have no idea what his name is.
Heard it a couple of times.
Yes.
Michael something, isn't it Michael something?
Michael Foale. Maybe it's a good thing science is starting to sound like a romance novel.
Rover has nestled up and kissed affectionately Barnacle Bill.
She has now tasted Barnacle Bill.
Any hotter, and they're going to have to order a cold shower for Rover. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Too good. Naming rocks may be an out-of-this-world experience, but a lot of us are wondering when the time will come for Earth visitors to actually go here and pick up those and other Martian artifacts. Let's go back to the Jet Propulsion Lab and CNN's John Zarella with a look into the future.
John, and the future certainly is very bright, and we're joined again by Donna Shirley, head of Mars exploration here. And Donna, that's the question on everybody's mind. So when do humans finally go?
Well, humans go when we've, number one, scouted the terrain for them. We're like the Lewis and Clark expedition, going with our robots out to scout the terrain. They'll go when we've had enough time on space station to understand whether humans can really live in space for 3 years, which is the round trip. And they'll go when the technology's developed enough so that we can be able to afford to do it cheaply.
That's the big issue. Now, do you believe that any kind of mounting of a human mission would have to be an international mission?
Oh, almost certainly. Even Pathfinder's an international mission. It has German parts to the camera, and the spectrometer is part German, and these Danish magnets. So there's already an international flavor to almost all the missions. And certainly International Space Station is going to be a model, I think, for how we mount these large human missions.
Do you think that the success of Pathfinder and the hoped-for success of the subsequent missions will continue to whet the appetite for sending humans? Do you think, has this been a shot in the arm?
Well, it's very difficult to say because human space exploration is more expensive. It's dangerous. You know, you have to spend money making it safer. And there's a big project right now called Space Station that has to get finished before we could embark on a Mars mission. So I think that it can't hurt. But I don't know, you know, the interest of people comes and goes and wanes and so on, so I can't really predict it.
All you can predict, though, that in the next decade or so, 10 years, you will have a measured buildup, as they say.
That's right. In fact, we have plans all the way through 2016, and by 2016 we hope to have 3 pieces of Mars back, which is going to give us a chance at looking for if there was ever past life on Mars. And that's just about the same time frame that we'd like to mount a human mission to Mars. So it all kind of fits nicely together.
The big mission that everybody is looking forward to in the next 7, 8, 10 years would be a sample return mission, correct?
Right. And the plan right now, if we get the budget that we've put in for in the President's budget this year, is to try a sample return in 2005. Now, it's a 3-year round trip because of the way Earth and Mars are going around. So by the time we get it back, it'd be 2008.
I have to ask you the question. We haven't talked about it on the show tonight. Life on Mars. We know we're not going to find it with this mission here.
Right.
Other missions will be more geared towards finding life, knowing where to go. Is there a good possibility we'll be able to answer that question in the next decade or so?
Well, the best scientists in the field, the best Mars scientists, believe that if we can get well-selected samples of Mars back from very carefully surveyed, first you survey from orbit, get the right places, you know, find the Yellowstone Park or the Mammoth Hot Springs and go there and get the samples. That'll give us our very best chance. Now, this is not easy. If you've ever gone out and tried to find a fossil on the Earth, it's not easy. And these fossils are, you know, way below what you can see.
Well, I know that if anyone can do it, it certainly is the team here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, led, of course, by Donna Shirley. A tremendous team, John Holloman, and it's been certainly an honor for me to be here amongst them for the last week and a half. John?
Wish we could all stay, John. You know, in a moment we'll look back on this week of exploration, excitement, even exultation. Stay with us.
I don't shower before work. I email over oatmeal. I take conference calls in my pajamas. Just take a look at the area that I'm highlighting there. That works. I document conference, I page, I fax, I work out, I get tons done. I still don't shower. I pray we never ever get video conferencing.
Promises, promises.
A lot of companies have said they're going to introduce networkable digital printer copiers, but you can't print, copy, or finish on a promise. Fact is, Konica has delivered a 50-page per minute networkable digital printer copier that lets you scan once and copy forever, or print 50 pages per minute from your PC. So what do you want?
Promises, promises.
Smoke and mirrors?
Promises, promises.
Or the real power of digital printing and copying?
Recent report.
reports of UFO sightings in the skies of Fulton County have caused...
Car trouble, son?
Yeah, I was just on the internet and...
You get the internet on that phone?
Yeah, email, stock quotes, it's a page or two.
The Q phone, the most advanced palm-sized digital PCS phone from Qualcomm.
Weird guy. Cool phone.
What if you could get what you wanted automatically? You can, with the easiest way to earn free gasoline, the Shell MasterCard from Chase. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
Unlike any other car in its class, the new Audi A4 2.8 has a race-bred 190-horsepower 30-valve V6 and the option of a Tiptronic gearbox, so you can cruise in automatic or shift for higher performance. Perfect for those back roads. Not to mention those quick getaways. Get ready for the ride of your life.
There are times here at CNN when you know you've touched a nerve. The phones ring off the wall, the email backs up, your personal answering machine is always filled with 40 or so messages, and people ask for your autograph when you go out with your family to a movie. This week has been one of those times. The fact that humans have established a presence on another planet this week may pale in comparison to some of the other stories in the news, but not in the minds or the hearts of the people who watch this network. You have let us know that you like our extensive coverage of this little piece of America's space program. And you are not just Americans, but citizens of hundreds of countries who have gotten in touch with me and CNN to let us know you like a story that's more good news than bad, that takes you to a place you've never been before, and where, unlike most of real life, everything seems to work. Thanks for joining us. For the team of dozens of women and men at CNN who made this week possible for us on TV, it has been as much fun as it seemed. Here's one more look back to the future.
3, main engine start, 1, 0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Mars Pathfinder. And the vehicle has cleared the tower.
DDL comments report that a signal is barely visible. Let's go home. We can't go home yet. There's still a lot of uncertainty.
That airbag is not fully retracted. We don't quite know why that is.
We have rover data. Yeah!
Communication link between the rover and the lander is working. That has been a big concern.
Rover, don't forget to call home occasionally.
On behalf of President Clinton and all of the people of our country, congratulations on doing an absolutely outstanding job.
What a day. What a night. What a time to be alive on planet Earth.
Well, we can assure you it's not a hoax. We are on Mars.
There is no place on Earth where the rocks are this old. On Mars, they are ancient, ancient stuff.
This is the first time that two spacecraft have ever taken a picture of each other.
Our rover has nestled up and kissed affectionately Barnacle Bill.
But remember, the imagination is very important to understanding this mission.
And we will try and help stimulate your imaginations as we will stimulate our own.
This is unbelievable. You have 70 scientists like kids in candy shops here at the end of fire hoses of data who just grinning from ear to ear. We've already seen differences in colors, in textures. There looks like there's layering in some rocks. There's that one flat-topped rock, and what are those? We gotta go see them.
So I think the whole planet was behind us. You know, we did the engineering, but I think the people of the planet Earth willed Pathfinder to life on the surface of Mars.
The joy that fills my heart has overflowed my body and risen to the heavens and has reached to Mars.
Sunday, one of the nation's